Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2767 Return 1. That's right. Ling nodded. Moreover, you use drugs or technology to force your brain to stay in an overclocked state of alertness. As long as your main consciousness never dies, dreams can never be generated. No matter how strong the Nightmare Clan is, they can't drag someone with their eyes open into a dream. This is absolutely sober. Zhang Yi felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Yes. He kept getting stuck in this mental trap, thinking about how to defeat the enemy in his dream. But what if he didn't dream at all? I see. Zhang Yi took a deep breath, his eyes flashing with a ruthless light. He needed Zhou Air to develop a drug, a potent stimulant, to keep him in a state of insomnia. In this way, he will have the confidence to deal with the Nightmare Clan's attacks in his dreams in the future. In the west of the continent of Bharata lies a desolate land shrouded in mist year-round. This is a forbidden zone for the living and the territory of the Nightmare Clan. On the ground, withered trees twisted like ghostly claws, and the black swamp emitted hallucinogenic poisonous gas. Beneath this desolate landscape lies a vast and complex underground kingdom, Nightmare Temple. Inside this palace, built entirely of obsidian suspended upside down, sunlight never shines, only eerie will-o'-the-wisps flicker. Above the main hall, two large thrones floated side by side in the void. On the thrones sat a being exuding an aura that was suffocating. The one in the center was shrouded in a wide black robe, with only a pair of pale, withered hands visible on his face. He is the Nightmare King of the Nightmare Clan, Nightmare Killer. On the left is a woman with a seductive figure, a succubus-like face, and a scorpion tail trailing behind her. Nightmare. On the other side is a gigantic, fleshy creature covered in eyes and chunks of flesh. Mara. At this moment, the atmosphere inside the main hall was so oppressive it was frightening. I died in a single thought. Nightmare Killer's voice was hoarse and grating, as if it came from the depths of hell. That chaos used some kind of rule-based method to execute him. Damn it! Damn it! The hundreds of eyes on Miro's body turned simultaneously, filled with rage and resentment. Even Yin Yen, the most skilled in mental infiltration among us, has fallen for it. If we don't avenge this, how can our Nightmare Clan maintain its standing among all races? I'm going to kill that chaos. I'll drag him into an endless nightmare, so he can never be reborn. Calm down, Mialuo. The alluring dream demon toyed with the ends of her hair, her eyes filled with a chilling light. Do you want to go and die now? Didn't you see that Qing Song was forced to retreat? Although that old codger from the Dragon Clan hasn't shown up, since Yuan Mo and Yuan Jing have made their stance clear, it means that the Dragon Clan is determined to protect the Hua Su Kingdom to the death. If we launch a full-scale attack on Tianhai City now, we will be giving the Dragon Clan an excuse to start a war. At that time, let alone revenge, our entire clan will be uprooted. Upon hearing the word Dragon Clan, Mialuo's violent aura instantly subsided considerably. On this planet, no ancient race was unafraid of the dragons. That man was truly the emperor who dominated an era. Their ancestors had witnessed firsthand the battle between the Omega-level beings of the Dragon Clan and Druk before the collapse of the previous era. Several supreme beings fought to the edge of the universe, even obliterating the Great Tao. What should we do then? Are we just going to let it go like this? Mero roared unwillingly. Of course not. The silent Nightmare Killer slowly opened, his eyes, hidden beneath his hood, gleaming with an eerie green light. Chaos must die. But he will not die in the land of Huashu, nor will he die under our direct attack. Isn't that thing called the Starry Sky Corridor supposed to be coming back? Nightmare Killer sneered. That's the place chaos is destined to go. Moreover, the rules there are chaotic, and it's isolated from the mortal realm. Even if the dragons wanted to protect him, they couldn't reach there. Wait 2 more years. The day the starry sky corridor opens will be his death day. Upon hearing this, the nightmare demon's lips curled into a cruel smile, and it licked its lips with its scarlet tongue. He, that's right. We Nightmare Clan are never warriors who charge head-on. We are assassins who roam the shadows. In that kind of environment full of unknowns and dangers, killing a mere Black Knight is not difficult as long as you are well prepared. I will prepare a grand funeral for him. A beautiful dream that he will never wake up from. The two supreme beings exchanged a glance and reached a consensus. In the darkness, the fangs of malice have been quietly sharpened, waiting only for the prey called chaos to step into the final trap. Time is the most ruthless yet most impartial measure in the universe. 2 years is but a fleeting moment in the grand scheme of geological time or the evolution of a star. But for the Earth civilization, which is undergoing a period of dramatic change, these 2 years have been enough to turn the ocean into mulberry fields. The reconstruction of Tianhai City has long been completed. This city, which was once ravaged by war, has now evolved into a futuristic steel monster. Inspired by the bioarchitecture of the Titans, skyscrapers are no longer cold concrete, but semi-biological entities that breathe and regulate their temperature like plants. On the streets, hover trains shuttled silently, while the Shadow Patrol, clad in skeletal armor, and the automated sand sweeper machines maintained order together. However, behind this prosperous facade, an unprecedented sense of urgency is weighing increasingly heavily on the heads of everyone in the know as time goes by. That is something that comes from deep space in the universe. As ancient civilizations and cosmic nations shifted their focus of observation entirely to the universe, the colossal object known as the Starry Sky Corridor finally revealed a glimpse of its menacing nature through the Deep Space Telescope in the atmosphere. It was a massive celestial structure that defied description. It is not a spherical planet in the traditional sense, but a tubular corridor with a double helix structure that emits a faint blue light. It rotates slowly in the universe, stirring up gravitational waves millions of kilometers around it with each rotation. What makes it most suffocating is its size. According to the latest observational data, the total volume of the Starry Sky Corridor is actually larger than that of the Sun. When such an object, possessing enough mass to disrupt the gravitational pull of a galaxy, hurtles towards the solar system with unstoppable inertia, it is itself a catastrophic event. This thing isn't simply passing by the solar system. It's been deliberately lured into the solar system's orbit, and there's a very high probability that it will collide with it. Chapter 2768 Return to. What will happen, then, is simply unimaginable. Inside the Amami Observatory, Professor Leonardo da Vinci once made such a nerve-wracking comment while looking at the ever-enlarging blue dot on the screen. Yang Xinshin also said calmly, it seemed to carry some kind of extreme resentment, wanting to completely smash this solar system testing ground created by the Creator. As for the reasons behind it, Zhang Yi and Yang Xinshin were perfectly clear about them. They have deciphered the Jaman records, and Ling also told them the truth about the destruction of the Star Clan. They likely failed because they were judged by a higher dimensional will when they tried to break through the petri dish of the universe, the Creator. Therefore, it is not surprising that they harbor resentment towards the Creator and want to destroy the solar system. Faced with a celestial catastrophe of this magnitude, whether it was the proud dragon race, the arrogant tyrannical dragon race, or the newly rising Huashu kingdom, they all had to reach a tacit consensus. All races must put aside all grudges and unite in this upheaval to try to break the deadlock. If the gravitational tides and impact risks brought by the star corridor are not resolved, let alone competing for the treasure, the entire Earth will be thrown out of the habitable zone and become a dead planet. Tianhai, Yunk Manor. This is the place with the highest information security level in the entire Huashu Kingdom. Golden runes flow on the surrounding walls, which are the information barriers built by Yang Xinshin by combining the Yihan clan code with modern encryption algorithms. Zhang Yi sat in a large chair, with tens of thousands of holographic text fragments floating in front of him. These characters are twisted and distorted, like the roots and stems of some kind of plant intertwined. They are Jaman records excavated from the ruins of Takamagara in the land of the riverbank. Beside him, Yang Xinshin's eyes glowed with a faint blue light. Her brain was operating at overclock, constantly translating these obscure Roman characters into understandable Chinese. Analysis progress, 98%. All done. Yang Xinshin let out a sigh of relief, rubbed her throbbing temples, and pushed a well-organized document in front of Zhang Yi. Brother, the truth may be even crazier than we imagine. Zhang Yi opened the document and quickly scanned it. As he read on, a look of shock gradually appeared on his face, which had remained unfazed even when facing powerful members of the Tyrannosaurus clan. Project Beyond. Zhang Yi read the word nuclear in a low voice. According to the Jaman records, the Star Clan, a glorious civilization born in the previous cosmic era, discovered the truth of this universe from the very beginning. This is an experimental field kept under the control of a certain will. All civilizations, whether strong or weak, ultimately cannot escape the fate of destruction and plunder. To escape this fate of being manipulated, the Star Clan mobilized the entire clan to launch a mega-project called the Star Corridor. This project has two core objectives. First, externally. Using the Starry Sky Corridor as a super accelerator and dimensional shuttle, they tore apart the cosmic barrier, led their people to escape to a parallel universe, and completely broke free from the control of the Creator. Second, internally. If escape is impossible, they attempt to use higher dimensional technology to forcibly fold and open up a new world independent of the laws of physics within the existing universe. A divine kingdom completely ruled by themselves. This is why Zhang Yi saw so many soap bubble-like spherical spaces after entering the Starry Sky Corridor in his demon god armor. What a respectable and admirable race. Zhang Yi couldn't help but sigh. They not only wanted to escape, but they even wanted to build their own houses inside the prison.
Not only that.
Yang Xinshin swiped her finger and brought up a chilling reconstruction image. In order to adapt to the unknown environment of the New World or parallel universe, the Star Clan conducted a large number of biological experiments. They attempted to create a perfect new human, a body capable of bearing the power of Omega. Based on what we know about Ling, they probably want to learn from the Heniacs and create the ultimate human. And their experimental subjects. Zhang Yi's pupils contracted sharply as he looked at the picture. In the picture, tall creatures with obvious reptilian or elemental characteristics are chained to an experimental table by huge metal shackles and are being cut and observed by various instruments. Zhang Yi was very familiar with the characteristics of those creatures. Those are druckers. They actually captured and enslaved the drucks? Zhang Yi felt a chill run down his spine. What is a drucker? Those are monsters known as the Undying Gods, cosmic calamities with near-infinite regeneration abilities, feeding on desires. Even the Creator could not completely destroy them. He could only choose to seal or restrain them. However, according to the Star Clan's records, these terrifying Druck people were reduced to prisoners, becoming lab rats and slaves. The Star Clan's power far exceeds our expectations. Yang Xinshin said in a deep voice. The records mention that they even created weapons that could suppress the Druck people's regenerative factors. This is why the Creator later had to personally unleash divine punishment to completely wipe out the star race. They touched upon the taboos of the true universe and even threatened the Creator's dominion over this universe. No wonder. Zhang Yi leaned back in his chair, his eyes flashing with an uncertain light. The Starry Sky Corridor. He began to become even more interested in this place. If, and he meant if, we could truly obtain the Star Clan's legacy, perhaps we wouldn't have to worry about the Druck's resurgence in the future. The Star Clan, or even more violently, the Aihen clan, possesses power approaching that of the Aihen clan but is even more devoted to violence. So they fought the Druckers the hardest. If we could obtain their secret to suppressing the Druckers, we might have an excellent trump card when the 7 Druckers are revived in the future. No wonder there are so many indescribable monsters in the Star Corridor. They're probably not only the vengeful spirits of the Star Clan, but also the resentment of the Druk people who were tortured to death and countless failed experiments. This place is a super tomb and biochemical laboratory floating in space. Zhang Yi rubbed his back, his eyes gleaming with a burning light. We have to go to this starry corridor too. Yang Xinxin glanced at Zhang. We can do what the Zepan tribe did before. We can lure other tribes into our game and make them our pawns. Then, using the intelligence we have, we can become the ultimate winners. Chapter 2769 Calculating All One. After obtaining the key intelligence, Zhang Yi immediately convened a meeting with the core team members. In the conference room, all the core team members, including Yang Xinxin, Lu Karen, Zhou Ke, Uncle Yu, Fatty Su, and Liang Yu, were present. Deng Shintong had other important experiments to conduct at the moment, so he did not join in. Brian and Professor Da Vinci have not yet gained Zhang Yi's complete trust, so they are not participating in the meeting. Zhang Yi revealed the true nature of the Starry Sky Corridor to everyone. After hearing the introduction, everyone fell silent. Even the usually optimistic Fatty Su was pale at this moment and forgot to put the potato chips in his mouth. Even the Drucker people were treated like guinea pigs. Fatty Su swallowed hard. With so little meat, is it even enough to fill a crack in their stomach? Even Uncle Yu, a middle-aged man who was always full of enthusiasm, rubbed his chin and said to Zhang Yi, Zhang Yi, I have always supported your decisions. However, compared to those powerful ancient civilizations, our combat capabilities are still far inferior. Even if you have an intelligence advantage, it doesn't guarantee your safety. This isn't like you. Everyone looked at Zhang Yi with surprise, as Zhang Yi was never the type to actively choose to take risks. Certainly, Zhang Yi smiled slightly. We're not going to force our way in. That's something only an idiot would do. Zhang Yi tapped the table, drawing everyone's attention back to the table. In terms of raw power, we're certainly not the strongest among all races. But we have two major advantages, intelligence and the support of the dragons. He pulled up the video recording of when he piloted the demon god armor and entered the outer perimeter of the Starry Sky Corridor. In the scene, the vast white wasteland is deathly silent. The moment the demon god armor activated its space jump engine, the previously transparent and invisible free-state creatures around it instantly went berserk, tearing the armor to shreds in an instant. Everyone, please pay attention. Zhang Yi pointed to the energy reading on the screen. When I first went in, I encountered these creatures, but they didn't attack me. They seemed to be sleeping or wandering aimlessly. The attack was triggered the instant I started the engine, and the energy level spiked. Yang Xinxin took over the topic and quickly displayed a set of comparative data on the big screen. By combining the biosafety protocols in the Jamin records, we can draw a conclusion. These free-state creatures, the guardians of the Star Corridor, attack by means of intense energy fluctuations and strong vital signs. Simply put, as long as you stay there without releasing high-intensity superpowers indiscriminately and even suppress your heart rate and body temperature to a state similar to that of a corpse, you are safe. Upon hearing this conclusion, Uncle Yu's eyes lit up and he slapped his thigh. Got it. He's just playing dead. That's roughly the idea. Zhang Yi nodded. But it's not easy. In an environment full of crises, and where you could be attacked by other races at any time, maintaining silence is a huge test of mental fortitude and energy control. However, this is an opportunity for us. A sly smile crept onto Zhang Yi's lips. Other ancient civilizations, especially races like the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Nightmare Clan that worship violence, will habitually release their aura to intimidate the surrounding area or directly use their powerful moves to clear a path when they enter. At that time, they will become live targets for these free-roaming creatures, drawing fire for us. And we only need to pass through quietly like ghosts. Upon hearing this, everyone smiled knowingly. That's a dirty trick, but I like it. Fatty Su chuckled. So, are we going to share this information with the Dragon Clan? Lu Karen asked. Of course, their quantity is indispensable. We must recognize our own shortcomings and seek help from powerful figures when necessary. Zhang Yi said without hesitation, "The Dragon Clan is our ally, and the White Dragon Prince and the others have been extremely kind to us. More importantly, in this instance, we need a strong teammate who can withstand direct pressure." He crossed his arms, sat on the sofa, and said calmly, "In short, our plan is very simple. We'll exchange the intelligence we have for the Dragon Clan's military support. Then, we'll cooperate and explore the Star Corridor together." He handed all the materials to everyone, instructing them to carefully read and memorize them. In this way, once you actually enter the Starry Sky Corridor, you can avoid many risks. Zhang Yi quickly sent the research report on free organism triggering mechanism to Bai Longzi via an encrypted channel. In less than a minute, Bai Longzi's reply arrived. It only has a few simple words. "Heroes' views are not broad." Accompanying this was a detailed star map from within the Dragon Clan, outlining the surrounding environment of the Star Corridor and several potential safe landing spots. Clearly, the Dragon Clan's millennia-long foundation is not to be underestimated. They have also researched and developed some intricacies, even knowing more details than Zhang Yi. This exchange of information has further solidified the alliance between the two countries. Just as Zhang Yi and the others were preparing for the Starry Sky Corridor, a life-or-death gamble was taking place in another important location in Huashu Kingdom, the Deng's biotechnology park in the new district of Tianhai City. Since that battle 2 years ago, Deng Yuanbua, the head of the Deng family, made an extremely decisive decision. All of the Deng family's core assets, personnel, and technology were relocated to Tianhai City, completely tying them to Zhang Yi's power. Today, the Deng family has become a leader in the biotechnology field in Huashu Kingdom. Inside a top-secret laboratory hundreds of meters underground, huge culture tanks stand in rows. Inside are not ordinary clones, but millions of special embryos that have undergone gene editing. The genetic templates all come from inhumans of the Epsilon level. Deng Shintong once shamelessly went to Zhang Yi, wanting to obtain his genetic material, but was coldly rejected by Zhang Yi. Just kidding, he's the kind of guy who'll drink chilly water afterward. He's extremely cautious. How could he possibly hand over his life information to someone else? If it falls into the hands of a rule-based ability user, it could potentially be cursed to death. However, as a second-best option, Zhang Yi gave him quite a few body parts of powerful alien races. Over the years of battles, he has killed quite a few powerful figures, and he has even preserved the flesh and blood of night-level experts. As it happened, Professor Leonardo da Vinci and Zhou Ke were given the opportunity to study it, and some of it was also given to the Deng family. Chapter 2770 Calculating All 2. Deng's technology extracted genetic material from biological samples and then used cloning technology to create a large number of embryos. The sole purpose of these embryos is to steal fire. Using a massive amount of life force, they steal fragments of power scattered by the Creator in the ether to create aliens on Earth. At this moment, deep within the laboratory, beside a transparent pool filled with a highly concentrated spiritual liquid, Deng Shintong stood naked. 2 years have transformed the once spirited eldest son of the Deng family into a more composed man. The arrogance and haughtiness that once graced his face have now been replaced by a steady and cautious demeanor. Looking at his own body, which, though strong, still appeared weak in the face of top experts, a trace of resentment flashed in his eyes. The gap is widening. Deng Shintong clenched his fist, his nails digging deep into his palm. I witnessed Zhang Yi grow from someone on par with me into a black knight who made the world tremble. I witnessed the rapid progress of Yang Xinxin, Lu Ran, and even Uncle Yu. As for himself, although he worked very hard and reached the rank of Epsilon, he could never break through the barrier to the knight level. That's right, has already reached the level of a bishop. With an ability index of 32,000 points, Zhang Yi provided, with abundant resources and with the full support of the Deng family, barely managed to become a bishop-level ability user. Currently, at this level, a being of this rank can at most be a minor soldier in a great war between races and can hardly affect the overall battle situation.
Phew.
These two characters are like a mountain pressing down on, making it hard to breathe. I am not content to be just a logistics supervisor, nor am I content to forever only look up at my back. Deng Shintong turned his head and looked at Professor Da Vinci and Deng Yuanbo, who were standing in front of the control panel. Let's begin. Deng Yuanbo looked at his nephew, his hands behind his back, his eyes filled with worry and reluctance. Shintong, have you thought this through? The mortality rate of the reconstruction experiment is as high as 90%. If it fails, your spirit will collapse. Uncle, if we don't do it, we will never become true powerhouses. Deng Shintong smiled calmly. In this magnificent era, the strong are numerous and the competition is fierce. I don't want to be just a supporting character. I hope my own light can shine brightly. Even if life is short, it should shine brightly. So, I'm willing to take the gamble. Professor Leonardo da Vinci, standing to the side, seemed quite excited. After all, this was the highest-level human experiment he had ever conducted. The experimental target was a bishop-level alien, and the Natural Science Association of Columbia did not have such a good biological sample. While wiping the drool from the corner of her mouth, she said, "Don't worry, hiccup. With me here and the gene stabilizer provided by Zhang Yi, the success rate can be increased to at least 30%. That's already a high probability in a high-stakes gamble. 30%, that's enough." Deng Shintong took a deep breath and stepped into the transparent pool of spiritual energy. Buzz! As the instrument was activated, countless probes as thin as hair pierced into the body. That wasn't an ordinary injection, it was a disassembly of the body on both physical and spiritual levels. The reshaping of the spirit must first break through the inherent limitations. It's like limb regeneration. First, the missing limb needs to be cut off, and then a new limb can be stitched up. Excruciating pain. The indescribable pain instantly overwhelmed Deng Shintong's consciousness. It felt like someone was using a dull knife to slice off your soul piece by piece, then throwing it into a meat grinder and turning it into a pulp. The CT force field, which originally enveloped the spirit body and protected it from external erosion, was forcibly shattered by this violent technological force. Deng Shintong's consciousness instantly detached from his body. When he regained his senses, he found himself falling into an endless sea of light. I can no longer see my own body. All I see is a pristine, boundless white ocean. Countless points of light floated in the ocean, and became one of those points of light, the Sea of Ether. Here there is no gravity, no time, no pain, only endless warmth and peace. It felt like returning to my mother's womb, or like snow melting in the warm sun. So peaceful. I just want to stay asleep like this. It was as if a voice was whispering in Deng Shintong's ear. Why resist? Come and integrate here. This is a place of belonging, a place where you can find what you've been looking for. It feels so good. It's as refreshing as taking a hot spring after working continuously for a month and suddenly unloading all your burdens. Forget your troubles, forget your disputes, don't need to bear the pressure of responsibility, and don't need to care about other people's opinions. And so, I drifted carefree in the comfort of the ocean. Deng Shintong's consciousness began to dissipate, and the edges of his spiritual body were slowly dissolving, soon to become part of this vast sea of light. Just when I was about to lose myself completely, a face suddenly appeared in my mind. That was Zhang Yi's face. That face, always carrying a hint of mockery, forever calm and composed, as if it could withstand anything. Deng Shintong, is this all the ambition you've got? Didn't you want to surpass me? If you die here, what will you use to surpass me? An intense sense of shame and jealousy instantly transformed into a raging fire, igniting Deng Shintong's dying will. No! I won't die. I won't merge into this bullshit ether. I am Deng Shintong. I am the man who stands at the top of the world. If you can't even resist such a small temptation, how can you possibly surpass Zhang Yi? A silent roar erupted from the depths of his soul. That intense sense of self fiercely resisted the assimilation of the etheric sea, like a demon crawling out of the abyss, grabbing onto a hanging spider silk.
Boom.
In the real world, more than a month has passed. Deng Shintong fell into a deep sleep, his vital signs being maintained entirely by intravenous nutrition. However, brainwaves had long since disappeared, as if his soul had left his body. No, all the guards were on duty day and night. Even Professor Da Vinci and Deng Yuanhua relied on medication to stay awake, keeping their eyes glued to the spot for 24 hours straight. The spiritual pool suddenly boiled and then exploded. A brand new figure, radiating golden light, slowly rose from the pool. Her skin was as smooth as jade, and her eyes shone with a golden light like a god. Deng Shintong couldn't feel the passage of time, as if he were in the sea of ether, wandering for only an hour or perhaps a year. But at this point has truly changed. It's not the same as before. The spirit of the has been reshaped and has transcended its former constraints.
Right, that's it for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises.